How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk about one of my favorite companies which just announced earnings, and it had a little bit of a dip. So I'm going to talk about it. It might be a company that you want to take a look at. It was lower last week, but pretty much every single stock was. So it might be a good company for you to take a look at because there are some big catalysts that are coming for this company. And it's still selling at a major discount compared to some of its competitors. Now, I'm not going to say it's a cheap stock. I'm not going to say that because on a price to sales basis, it is pretty expensive, but it's one of my biggest holdings, and it's one that I've been adding to over the last couple of weeks. So one of the things I love about this channel is that I can update you guys on companies like this. If you guys ever want to take a look at starting your own channel, I did create a course on it. I'll put the link down below. Use the coupon code FIRST and you can get in for 25% off. We're starting to get some students in here, so I really want to make this awesome and something that everyone can benefit from. There's already a couple hours of content, but I emailed everyone today, hey, if you guys have questions, let me know, and I'll do like a video covering all the questions. So we have people all the way up to 35,000 subscribers that are already enrolling in this course, but it's also built for new people in the YouTube space. So definitely check that out. Also, there is a link down there to Patreon. So I've been doing videos on my second channel answering everyone's questions on the market, and that's pretty much every single day. Now, not only that, but you also get my buys and sells. We bought TTOO. It was the only penny stock we bought over the last couple weeks, and we bought it at $1.65, and now it's up actually a good amount since then, up about 20%. We bought a lot of other companies too, like Palantir, which was up a lot today. A lot of these companies were up. And the last thing, Bitcoin is at all-time highs, or it was as of like an hour ago. You can take a look at it. It's $58,000. If you guys want, there is a link down there to BlockFi. You can get interest 6% on your Bitcoin. So maybe start up an account, throw some money in there in stablecoin, 8.6%, and then wait for Bitcoin to drop and then throw some money in Bitcoin. Just a thought. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research. But the company we're looking at today is ChargePoint. They just announced their earnings here, and they actually beat on revenue. So right here, you can see fiscal year 2021 revenue was $146 million. Now, they just finished their merger, their reverse merger, they finished their SPAC merger this year with Switchback. So now they have more cash on the balance sheet than they've ever had used in the history of their company. So right now, they had about $42.4 million of revenue this quarter, which is actually beating guidance a little bit. So they weren't expecting to hit this kind of revenue yet. They were actually expecting a little bit lower. So they had 146 here. You can see they were expecting about 135 million in revenue. So they beat revenue this year by a decent amount compared to what was in their presentation. Now, this is one of the major things that I want to see from this company. With these SPACs, we want to actually see if they can hit revenue estimates. It doesn't matter how quickly they're going to grow on their investor presentation if they can't actually hit numbers. Now, what kind of threw some people off was that they had a huge net loss, 91 million as opposed to 34 million last year. And this was just due to a change in fair value of the company's redeemable convertible notes, preferred stock, warrant liability. So I'm still pouring over the information. They just had their call, but I want to get this out to you guys as quickly as possible. Now, they're expecting revenue this coming year of about what they said before. So they're expecting fiscal 2022 revenue of about 200 million. They expect revenue of about 35 to 40 million this coming quarter. And they usually see lower network sales in the first quarter and the fourth quarter of the year. They said that they usually have some cyclicality to the company, so that kind of makes sense in winter. Also, they said that this was down, and we were expecting this, that this was not the growth that we would normally see due to the pandemic. So this year, they are expecting a nice growth rate. This is about what they said before, so they still are reiterating about $200 million, which would be a year-over-year growth that is pretty significant. Now, they had 146, so it's not going to be a 46% growth rate, but it's going to be in that 30 to 40% range. Now, I really want to see what they're able to do in the next quarter. I want to see what they are estimating for the coming year, next quarter. So I want to make sure that they can actually hit their revenue projections. They said that a lot of why they aren't expanding as quickly as some people want is because of the pandemic. This has set back commercial clients, fleet clients back a good amount. A lot of people are working from home, so they're not able to expand. And they said that they are still penetrating Europe. So they're expecting to about 50% increase their sales in Europe over the coming year. They reiterated this a lot. They're really tied to broad EV adoption, which is something that I really agree with here. And the fact is, there are 20 new vehicles, I believe, that are coming out this year in EV that are just from the major competitors. So there is going to be more widespread EV adoption. This is why I like this company so much. 7X closest competitor. So they control this market. So who do you think is going to build out the infrastructure as we get more and more EV adoption? Who's going to be calling these smaller companies up as opposed to ChargePoint? I think we're going to see a lot more large companies calling ChargePoint up, knowing that they are really a good competitor in the space, really the go-to company, and there's a reason that they hold market share. The other thing is we have this Biden administration $2 trillion infrastructure bill. So if you didn't see, Biden signed the stimulus bill today. The next thing on his docket is this infrastructure bill. So that could be huge for this company. They're going to be, if this goes through, even if it's a smaller one, a lot of that money I think will go to EV, in my opinion. Now, you can look at other companies, like a lot of people talk about Blink stock, right? You can see Blink here. They control some of the market, about 8%. But take a look at their revenue. You can see this is actually third quarter. So for the first 9 months of 2020, they had $3.8 million in revenue. Let's say they continue this, they end up with about $5 million worth of revenue. They are a $1.7 billion company. Their price to sales is in the 300 range. Now, I realize ChargePoint isn't the cheapest stock out there, but they are nowhere near this. They're about an $8 billion company, and they have significantly more revenue. So they're about 30 times the revenue of Blink. So just keep that in mind. This is a company that is trading at a little bit of a discount now after market hours. It dumped down after I think people saw the losses, and then a lot of people sold out, kind of panicking there. A lot of people were selling the news, I think, too, with this stock. And honestly, this is a company I really like long term. They're the leader in this space. Some people are talking about a potential buyout. I don't know about that, but this is a company that I want to hold on to, and I'm excited to own it because I was able to pick up shares in the low 20s this last week. So definitely take a look at this company if you haven't already. Of course, take a look through their earnings, see what you think about the company, do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, but let me know your thoughts on this down below. Also, there is that link to BlockFi if you're interested. Again, cryptocurrency I'm very bullish on. They pay an interest rate up to 9.3% on some of their stablecoin, 6% on Bitcoin. Also, take a look at the Patreon down below. Now's never been a better time. We have someone helping us with chat moderation. We're doing daily videos where I answer people's questions, and it's still not to the point where I'm overwhelmed. Like, I can answer almost everyone's questions as long as they put it in the right place. Also, buying some good stocks on this last dip over the last couple weeks, and there's that link down there in case you want to take a look at the course. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to see the video I did earlier today on NNDM, definitely check it out here on the end screen. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.